It's August, and around here, that means it's time for Galaxycon. What is Galaxycon, you ask? Galaxycon is an event originally called SuperCon, founded by Mr. Mike Border in Fort Lauderdale, Florida back in 2006. After attending a series of conventions with specific themes, he wanted to create, you guessed it, a SuperCon. A convention that provided something for everyone, fans of movies, TV, anime, horror, art, and more, all under one roof. Today, Galaxycon holds over 10 different events all over the US. We have been lucky enough to attend the San Jose event as press since there's been a Galaxycon event in San Jose. And this year, we get to do the same, thanks to Mr. Justin Burkhart. As many of you know, and are probably sick of hearing about, we're pretty hardcore comic book collectors. More so in the past couple of years thanks to our buddies Chris and Miss Jen at Cheddar Comics. But this year, we head into GalaxyCon with one goal, one purpose. You see, one thing that GalaxyCon does very well is get fantastic comic book creator guests, old and new, from industry legends to some of the most popular artists working today. So this year, I march into GalaxyCon with over 30 comic books, each one awaiting a signature from its cover artist, internal artist, or writer. One in particular from its creator. Like I said, GalaxyCon has some gnarly guests this year, so I'm pretty stoked. Let's see how this goes. First up, artist and legend Mr. Art Adams. Last year I got him to sign my copy of X-Men Classic #1. I grew up with a poster of that cover on my bedroom wall as a little kid. Here he signs my copy of issue 7 of the same title. Unreal. Next, Mr. Dennis Cohen, a longtime hero of mine and one of the nicest artists I've ever met. He signed my copy of Moon Knight 17 from 1982. Up next was Miss Rose Bush. My entire family and I are big fans of her art. Sue had quite a few books for her to sign. I've been going to cons as press for a few years now. She was the nicest artist I've ever met, hands down. She was happy to talk with us and sign all of our books. She even wore special gloves to handle people's comics. That's a level of thoughtfulness I hadn't come across yet. Every experience varies, but most of these exchanges go just how you think they do. You say hello, you ask if they can sign your book, they smile, take the book, sign it, give it back, and get back to doing whatever it was that they were doing. And that's all I can ask for. It's best to remember that these people are working. I've been with homies who have worked conventions as artists, as guests. I've sat there for 9 hours. It's not fun. Getting a vendor spot at a convention is not even free for them, but it's always nice to run into an artist who is happy to be there, happy to meet you, and appreciate your support. Up next was Mr. Bob Hall, another legend. Here he signed my copy of Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock. This is Mr. Dexter Vines, one of my favorite inkers of all times. Very nice guy. He signed a copy of Civil War #1 for both Mike and myself. Up next was Mr. Kevin McGuire, another legend. He's worked in the industry as long as I can remember. He did this cover for the new Violator Origins run. It was one of my favorite things I've read in years, so I was way stoked to get his signature. Here's Ben Templesmith of 30 Days of Night fame.
Where do you go? Oh, shit!
He did a cover from the Violator series and the internals for the same book that Mr. McGuire did, so it was cool to get one double signed. Lastly was Mr. Tim Vigil. Mr. Vigil is a creator of probably the second comic book I ever touched or owned, Grips. When I found out he'd be attending, I pooped a little, and my lovely wife immediately went out and found me an absolutely beautiful copy of Grips #1. This was a big one for me, and like most trips to Galaxycon, something special happened. I asked him to sign my book, which he did. I thanked him and told him that this is one of the first comic books that I ever read. I read it every day and studied every panel, learned how to draw reading Grips series, got my first lessons in inking perspective layouts from his work. He was amused by this and actually took the time to take the comic book back and go through it, showing me his favorite pages, talked about where he was as an artist at the time and what he would change. He pointed out even the stuff he hated. I told him I know I was a little bit too young to be reading Grips at the time, but it was an extremely influential book for me in many ways, no matter how bad it was. He laughed and ended up thanking me. This guy is a hero of mine. He's a local guy. For me, him and Chris Silver were the guys who wouldn't be stopped. Not too many folks had published artwork when they were in high school. It was a dream come true to meet Tim Vigil, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy. There were a few signatures I got while my camera person was away, but collected bounty nonetheless. Gene Haw remarked this awesome Vampirella for me. Ryan Kincaid signed both a Vampirella and a Lady Death, and was also one of the coolest dudes I've ever met at a convention. Dave Johnson was nice enough to sign a bunch of his Batman covers for my wife. And Tony Fleek signed her copy of Army of Darkness Forever #11. Another great experience at Galaxycon. We've gone to Galaxycon every single year it's been in San Jose, and we wouldn't miss it for anything. We get to experience Galaxycon from two different perspectives as press and regular patrons. And each time it's an easy, stress-free event that never disappoints. There's something for everyone. We got signatures from comic book creators, voice actors, and even talked to some wrestlers. We bought some comic books from awesome vendors like T&K Comics. As long as I've been going to Galaxycon, I've stopped by and shopped at T&K's booth. They are what make conventions fun. For a couple years, I've stopped by T&K's booth at Galaxycon and other events. They're always so kind and helpful that this year, I went with the full intention to have a brief interview with Fernando, and before I could even introduce myself, he greeted me. He didn't ask me what I was looking for. He didn't ask me what I wanted or inform me of any sales that they were having. He did what he and everyone on his team has done every time I've shopped with him. He asked, "Are you having fun? How's the con treating you? Are you guys enjoying yourself?" Here I am about to interview this guy for being so nice, and here he is being so nice. Here's Mr. Fernando.
All right, everybody, I'm here with Fernando, and you're with T&K Comics, and every time I come to a convention, you guys are here. And the reason I wanted to stop and talk to you is because every time I come to your booth, before I can even do anything, somebody's asked how I'm doing, what I'm looking for, tells me what sales are going on. So I just wanted to let our listeners know about you guys, because you guys are everywhere. Tell us where you guys are from.
Okay, great. Yeah, my name is Fernando. I own T&K Comics and Collectibles. I'm based in Temecula, California, so South Wine Country. And you know, I have a good partner with We Can Be Heroes Comics from Chatsworth, California. My buddy Julio Galvez, he owns that store. You know, we do a lot of shows all over the place, and we our kind of territory, I guess you could kind of say, is California, Nevada, Arizona. We've starting to venture out next year a little bit eastward, so we'll be heading out maybe Chicago for C32. We've been contemplating Dallas Fan Expo, but we come up to the Bay Area about 4 times a year, sometimes 5. We've done Shortbox Live in Santa Clara. We've done the Berkeley Comic Show. So we've done Fan Expo in San Francisco. We've done Galaxycon up here. So to me, it's not just about hitting the big shows. It's about hitting the smaller shows and sometimes like the grassroots shows, because you had mentioned that everybody was talking to you and wanted to mention a sale. Well, our job is customer service first, right? It's a hobby. You don't have to buy a comic book. You want to buy a comic book. Mm-hmm. So our job is to facilitate that the best we can. We should always talk to everybody. You want to see how everybody's doing, because you're at a convention, you're at a show. It's supposed to be fun,
yes,
right? It shouldn't be, what do you want? Mm-hmm. What do you need? You sure you want to buy that book? It shouldn't be like that. It should be, hey, here's all the deals. Here's what we got going on. What can we help you find so that way you can get something to go home with? Because the corny slogan that I use is "We sell joy one book at a time."
All right.
Right? It's cheesy as hell, but it's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first time I found you guys at a con, there was a guy who here, he's local and he has a shop. And I saw him, I recognized him. I don't know him too well at all. But I sat there and started looking through his stuff. I think it was about 15 minutes before I got, how long are you going to be looking for those? And I immediately left and went over here. So it was just great to find you guys. I've followed you guys on Instagram before I even seen you guys at a convention.
That's cool. Thank
So
you.
when I come to Galaxycon every year, and it was great to see you guys here and to run into you and meet you. And again, do you have anywhere anybody can find you, your socials?
Yeah, so socials, we do Instagram is my biggest way to get in touch with me or to find and see what we're doing. It's at TNK Comics, or it's Instagram at TNK Comics. And then my buddies, We Can Be Heroes, it's at We Can Be Heroes Comics TCG, or at We Can Be Heroes Comics. He has a separate one for his TCG and stuff. So, but you know, we're everywhere. I mean, I do about 22 to 23 shows a year, give or take. That's from Southern California, Northern California, Arizona a couple times a year. We do Arizona about 3 times, Nevada once a year, and then, like I said, NorCal about 4 or 5. SoCal has a bunch. So we actually just vended at San Diego Comic-Con for the first time.
Oh, I saw that.
That was massive. So that was really cool. We have about 8 more shows still for the rest of the year.
Okay.
So like in a couple weeks, we have Creep IE, which is an aftermath horror show. We'll be there. I have my first show I'm hosting at a brewery in Temecula called Bare Knuckle Brewery, and it's going to be Books and Brews. We have that coming up in September. LA Comic Con, October. There's a wrestling show that I'm going to be doing with a friend of mine, and then I'll be up in Berkeley again in October for the Berkeley show on Saturday, October 18th. And then November, we have 3 shows in November, one of them in Arizona, and then one of them will be back up here for Fan Expo.
All right, great. Thank you for spending a couple minutes with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See what I'm saying? So yeah, don't miss out on any Galaxycon event, no matter where it is. Be sure to check out the links in the description below. They're already planning next year's event. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Mr. Burkhart. Everybody take care.
You are not ready, but we will still save you. In your quest for self-destruction, you will send up more satellites, and we will be there, waiting to come again.